You are being lied to, not by me, by every voice that told you, be yourself, by every guru who sold you authenticity like it was a religion, when in reality, it was anesthesia designed to keep you compliant, predictable, and most importantly, controllable. Right now, you are measured by a metric you didn't choose. You call it likability. You call it being a good person. But here's what it actually is: a leash. And the people holding it, they're not your friends. They're not your family. They're the ones who benefit from your smallness. They need you to stay exactly where you are, visible enough to be useful, invisible enough to never threaten their position. You think you're climbing. You're not. You're pacing inside a cage you built with your own hands, calling it integrity. Let me show you what I see when I look at you. I see someone who apologizes for taking up space. Someone who explains their decisions as if they need permission. Someone who mistakes silence for peace, when it's actually surrender. You've been domesticated, neutered, trained to bark at your own shadow while the wolves walk past you, unbothered, unnoticed, untouchable. You are a pawn on a board you don't even know you're playing on. And the worst part? You think this is who you are. You've confused your programming with your personality. You've branded your cage as character. But you're still here. That means something. You know who else thought authenticity mattered? Blockbuster. They were authentic to their business model. They had integrity. They trusted their customers. They believed in loyalty. They played fair. Netflix didn't. Netflix was a parasite, then a predator, then a monopoly. Blockbuster is a punchline now. Netflix is a verb. You know what happened? Blockbuster died honest. Netflix lived effective. The same thing happened to Kodak. They invented the digital camera, then buried it. Why? Because it would disrupt their film business. They chose authenticity over adaptation. Kodak is dead. Canon owns the future. You're making the same bet they did. You think the universe rewards being real. It doesn't. It rewards being dangerous. And dangerous doesn't mean loud. It means asymmetrically prepared. In a world of noise, be the silence before the kill. Niccolo Machiavelli didn't write The Prince in a Palace. He wrote it in exile, broke, humiliated, stripped of power. And in that abyss, he saw something no one else had the stomach to admit. The world is not governed by virtue. It's governed by perception and force. Machiavelli didn't lie to you. He didn't sell you a vision board. He told you the truth, the way a coroner tells you cause of death. Cold, factual, irreversible. Here's what he said that no one wants you to hear. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. You've been taught to be a sheep. Machiavelli is teaching you to be both. But here's the problem. You've been reading him wrong. Everyone has. They think Machiavelli is about cruelty. He's not. He's about lethality without emotion. He's about the surgical removal of obstacles. He's about understanding that morality is a luxury afforded to those who already have power. And you don't have power. You have a Wi-Fi password and an alarm clock. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince for princes. He wrote it for the men who would replace them. He wrote it for the exiled, the overlooked, the ones the system wasn't designed to serve. He wrote it for you, but only if you're willing to stop pretending the game isn't happening. The sheep is safe until the wolf arrives. You've been the sheep. Now we build the wolf. Machiavelli left breadcrumbs, not for the masses, for the architects. What I'm about to give you is a 7-tier doctrine that Machiavelli encoded across the prince, discourses, and his private letters. These aren't chapters. These are laws. and each one is a scalpel designed to sever you from the herd. Most will hear Law 3 and leave. The dangerous ones will reach Law 7. Let's see which one you are. Law 1, the mercy kill. Kindness is what you do when you're too weak to cut. Here's the lie you've been sold. Kindness is strength. Compassion is power. Forgiveness is freedom. Bullshit. Kindness is what you do when you're too weak to enforce a boundary. Compassion is what you call it when you let someone hurt you twice. Forgiveness is what you perform when you don't have the leverage to collect the debt. Machiavelli said this: "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But you misread it. You think he's saying, be a tyrant. He's not. He's saying, love is a negotiation. Fear is a constant. Love requires the other person's participation. Fear only requires their awareness. Here's the law. Cruelty, done once and decisively, is more merciful than kindness repeated until it becomes weakness. Let me show you what this looks like in your life. You have someone in your circle, friend, co-worker, partner, who takes and takes and takes. You say, it's fine. You say, I don't mind. You say they're going through something. You're being kind, right? No. You're being conflict averse, and every time you let it slide, you're teaching them that your boundaries are decorative. You're training them to see you as an asset, not a threat. Machiavelli would cut them off in one move. No explanation, no drama, just gone. Why? Because the longer you tolerate the leak, the weaker the hull becomes. And when the ship finally sinks, you'll blame the water. But it was you. You knew where the hole was. You just didn't have the stomach to patch it. The protocol: identify the one person in your life who would never survive an audit of what they give versus what they take. You know who it is. You've known for months. Cut them off this week. No call, no closure, just silence. You'll feel guilt. That's the domestication leaving your system. Let it hurt. The wolf doesn't apologize for the kill. In a world of loyalty, be the one who knows when it's a liability. Law 2, the ghost move. Power is most lethal when invisible. You've been taught to show up, to be seen, to take up space. That's not power. That's a spotlight on a target. Machiavelli understood something Sun Tzu encoded in The Art of War. The most dangerous opponent is the one you don't see coming. Here's what this means in practice. Stop announcing your moves. Stop posting your wins. Stop explaining your decisions. Every time you broadcast your strategy, you're handing your enemies a playbook. Every time you celebrate early, you're giving the universe a chance to correct you. Every time you explain yourself, you're asking for permission you don't need. The ghost move is simple. Move in silence. Win in private. Let the results announce themselves. You think Bezos told the world he was building AWS before it was a $90 billion cash cow? No. He built it in the basement while everyone was watching retail. You think Elon tweeted his way into SpaceX? No. He nearly went bankrupt in silence, then landed a rocket. You're not them, but you can learn the pattern. Wait, didn't I just tell you to be invisible? Now I'm telling you, power requires presence. Contradiction? No. The amateur hides because they're afraid. The sovereign hides because they're lethal. There's a difference between invisibility born from fear and invisibility born from strategy. One is whackness, one is a weapon. Learn the difference. The protocol: for the next 30 days, do not announce a single goal, plan, or project until after it's completed. No Instagram captions, no "I'm working on something big" posts. Just execute, then let the evidence speak. Watch how people treat you differently when they can't predict you. The wolf doesn't howl before the hunt. Law 3, the Mirror Shatter. You are not you. You are an echo. This is where most of you will leave, because this is the law that requires you to look at yourself without mercy. Here's what I see when I audit your life. Your opinions aren't yours. They're borrowed from the loudest voice in the room. Your goals aren't yours. They're inherited from people who gave up on theirs. Your personality isn't yours. It's a collage of every person you've ever tried to impress. You're a mimic, a chameleon, a second-generation photocopy of someone else's life. Machiavelli calls this the failure of the imitator. He says, men nearly always walk in paths beaten by others, but they cannot keep entirely to the paths of others, nor attain the prowess of those they imitate. Translation: you're copying the moves of people who played a different game in a different era with different rules, and you wonder why you're losing. Let me describe your life with forensic accuracy. You wake up to an alarm you resent. You scroll through lives you'll never live. You go to a job that doesn't know your name, only your function. You come home and numb yourself with content designed to keep you exactly where you are. You call this adulting. Machiavelli would call it sleeper behavior. You're not living, you're complying. You've outsourced your sovereignty to a calendar, a paycheck, and a belief system you've never audited. The protocol: write down the 5 beliefs you hold most tightly, the ones you defend in an argument. Now ask, who gave me this belief? Did I choose it, or did I inherit it? If you can't name the moment you chose it, it's not yours. It's programming. Delete it. Rebuild from zero. In a world of mirrors, be the only original. Law 4. The Chameleon Strike. Principles are expensive. Outcomes are sovereign. You've been taught that changing your mind is weakness, that pivoting is failure, that consistency is character. Lies, all of them. Machiavelli said, a wise ruler cannot and should not keep his word when keeping it is to his disadvantage. You think that's immoral? No. It's asymmetrical warfare applied to daily life. Here's what this means. You don't owe the world your consistency. You owe yourself your effectiveness. If the strategy isn't working, kill it. If the relationship is draining you, end it. If the belief is limiting you, replace it. The graveyard is full of people who died loyal to the wrong idea. Right now, you're either nodding or you're offended. If you're nodding, you already knew this. You've felt the chains. If you're offended, you're the one I'm talking about. You're clutching your principles like a security blanket while the world moves past you. Either way, keep watching. The protocol: identify one belief, habit, or relationship you've kept only because you've had it for a long time. Ask, if I met this today, would I choose it? If the answer is no, sever it by Sunday. The wolf adapts. The sheep stays loyal to the fence. You're 18 minutes in. You've outlasted 74% of viewers. The herd is thinning. You're still here. That means something. Law 5. The indispensable asset. You are replaceable until you're not. Here's the truth about power. It's not about what you know. It's about what you control that others need. Machiavelli understood this. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Translation: you're not judged by your resume. You're judged by what you make indispensable. Most people trade time for money. That's not leverage. That's renting yourself by the hour. Leverage is when you own the thing that doesn't scale without you. The client who can't launch without your strategy. The team that can't function without your decision-making. The network that can't connect without your proximity. The protocol: ask yourself, if I disappeared tomorrow, what would collapse? If the answer is nothing, you're an employee, not an asset. Build the skill, relationship, or resource that makes you non-optional. In a world of replaceable parts, be the engine. Law 6, the void walk. Comfort is the slow death. You're afraid of the wrong thing. You think the danger is failure, rejection, loss. No, the danger is arriving at 70 and realizing you were always capable, just never willing. Machiavelli spent years in exile, tortured, forgotten, and in that void, he wrote the most dangerous book in Western history, because the abyss doesn't kill you, it reveals you. Most of you are living in a simulation of safety. You've optimized for comfort. You've built a life where nothing can hurt you. Congratulations. You've also built a life where nothing can elevate you. You think the hierarchy ends here? No. Law 6 is where the game begins, because the abyss isn't a place, it's a decision. The decision to walk away from the life you've been performing and into the one you're terrified to build. The protocol. Identify the one move you've been avoiding because the outcome is uncertain. The business you didn't start, the conversation you didn't have, the city you didn't move to. Do it in the next 72 hours, not when you're ready, now. The wolf doesn't wait for permission to hunt. The abyss doesn't ask if you're ready. Seconds of silence. Neither should you. Law 7, the throne architect. No one is coming to save you. Good. This is the law no one is meant to hear. Because once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Here it is. The system was never designed for you to win. It was designed for you to participate, just enough to keep it running. You're not a player, you're fuel. And the moment you realize that, you have two choices. Keep playing the game they built, or build your own. Machiavelli chose option 2. Exiled, powerless, forgotten. He built a doctrine that outlived every king who ignored him. He didn't wait for a throne. He architected one in the minds of everyone who read him. That's sovereignty. Not a title, not a paycheck, a refusal to let anyone else define your ceiling. The final protocol. You've been given 7 laws. Most will hear them and do nothing. They'll nod, they'll screenshot, they'll share, then they'll go back to sleep. But you're going to pick one law and execute it this week. Not all 7, 1. Because the sovereign doesn't hoard knowledge, they deploy it. In a world of students, be the only one who graduates. Here's the truth I'm not supposed to say. Most of you won't do anything with this. You'll feel inspired for 48 hours. Then the algorithm will feed you something easier, something safer, something that doesn't ask you to kill the version of yourself you've been defending. And that's fine. The herd needs numbers. But if you're still here, if you made it to Law 7, then you already know you're not like them. You didn't come here for motivation. You came here for ammunition. And the most dangerous ammunition I can give you is this. No one is coming. Not your parents, not your partner, not the universe. The throne you're waiting for, it doesn't exist. The permission you're seeking, you already have it. The moment you've been preparing for, it's been here the entire time. You just called it someday, so you wouldn't have to face it today. Machiavelli died broke, unrecognized, exiled. But 500 years later, we're still saying his name, because he didn't need the world to validate him. He validated himself, and then he left instructions for the rest of us. The wolf doesn't ask for a seat. It takes the table. If you made it this far, the algorithm already knows something about you. You didn't click away at Law 3 like most did. You didn't get bored when I told you to cut people off. So hit that subscribe button and be amongst the Machiavellians. Not because I asked, because you decided. In a world of sheep, be the wolf among them. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to make friends. He wrote it to make kings. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be lethal, sovereign, and free. Now go build your throne.